Hey there, Farm Share members. Late Friday afternoon of week number 3 of the Farm Shares. We just got done packing Saturday's boxes for deliveries, getting the trailers loaded up to go to the farmers markets bright and early in the morning, and really excited about getting another week in the books. A little bit of the same story, just a different week. We had another frost warning last night and did get some frost. Got down to 32 early this morning, about 6 o'clock. But luckily it didn't stay cold very long. And like I said, same story, different day. We received minimal damage, some leaf burn mostly, but certainly didn't do anything to help us. But I'm hoping now we're going to be out of the woods. The Farmer's Almanac says we are past the last possible date for spring frost, so let's keep our fingers crossed that the Farmer's Almanac is right. Today I thought we'd talk a little bit about our high tunnels, the difference between a high tunnel and a greenhouse. You'll hear us talk about the high tunnels quite a bit, so we'll talk about the differences. But the main difference is a greenhouse, generally you grow things in containers in a greenhouse. We use plug trays to start our vegetables and flowers in. And then in a high tunnel, you farm in the ground just like you would outside. You can see in the high tunnel behind me, we've got the ground covered with plastic mulch and landscape fabric, and all that's doing is help us conserve a little moisture. We've got our irrigation line up under the plastic mulch, and so that lets us utilize all the water that we're putting out there and don't lose any to evaporation like you would if we were watering overhead. And also helps us control the weeds. We fight the weeds inside these high tunnels just like we do outside, and so the more protection we can have for our plants against weed pressure, the healthier the plants are going to be. And one of the big advantages to a high tunnel that not a lot of people realize is most diseases and pathogens and things that plants get are spread by rain, and getting wet is detrimental to the plants a lot. So inside the high tunnels, most of these plants, the leaves never get wet. We water them down there by the roots where the water needs to be, and don't use any sprinklers or overhead irrigation, and that helps give us a healthier crop. And another big difference with the high tunnels you can see over here are the sides. We have roll up and drop down sides on these high tunnels. That side's closed, that side's open. But what that allows us to do is get good ventilation. Air circulation is very, very important with the plants, and also helps us control the temperature as well. So what we'll do tonight is we'll drop those sides down and close these indoors and shut it up, and conserve some of the heat that the soil stored up during the day. And then tomorrow morning when the sun comes out, we'll go back and open them up again. But we've got tomatoes in here. You can see they're kind of laying on the ground right now. We haven't staked them yet because we've been covering them up with row covers when it does get really cold, because at night it still gets pretty cold in the high tunnel, so they need a little extra layer of protection, because the textbooks will tell you not to plant tomatoes until April the 15th. Well, we usually try to plant our tomatoes in the high tunnel between February 15th and the 1st of March. And so we've got to baby them there at first to get them off to a good start. But all the nightshade type plants really seem to excel in the high tunnels. That's tomatoes and eggplants and peppers, and we've got eggplants over there on the side, and then back towards the back on that side we've got some peppers started as well. So those really seem to do well. But overall, what the high tunnel really does is allows us to control the environment a little bit better. We can somewhat regulate the heat, especially on sunny days when we can use the heat from the sun to heat the house, and just protects from wind, hail, sleet, anything like that we get. It just shelters those plants and allows us to keep them a little healthier. And so since the sun heats up the high tunnels, something that we started doing last year or year before is we're trying to grow lettuce 12 months out of the year. And lettuce is a cool season crop. It likes it cold and can't handle a lot of heat. So what we've done is we've got some shade cloths that go over the high tunnels, and when it gets where it's staying warm, we'll throw the shade cloth over the top of the high tunnels and shade that high tunnel, and it'll drop the temperature, 10 or 15 degrees, and also cut some of the UV penetration down, and so helps keep some of those plants that don't like it really hot, helps keep them happy, and happy plants make good yields, and good yields make happy farmers, so that's what we're after. We hope y'all have a good weekend this weekend and enjoy your farm share boxes. As always, give us some feedback. Let us know what you're liking, what you're not liking. Don't forget, Meet the Farmer Day is May the 6th from 2 to 5 p.m. And I'm going to put a link in this email to RSVP. Just let me know how many's coming and that kind of thing, so we know what to expect on that day. But we'll take some tours. You'll get to see all this. We'll show you some farming techniques that we do, and get to discuss whatever you'd like with us and some of the workers here at the farm. So y'all don't want to miss that. So have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.